Sherpa.
Yes, John.
It's working.
Are you sure? I don't want to get up again if it's not working.
I'm pretty sure it's working.
All right. Ta-da!
There she is.
Would you guys like to learn how to paint something?
I would like to.
I would really like to show you how to paint something.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So take 3. Tired little gnomes notifying all you guys that are signed up for notifications with us. Whew. I would like to show you how to paint this fabulous abstract. We're going to be using gold leaf and interference paint. You guys ask me about these products a lot, and I'm going to give you a lot of ins and outs and tips. But even though these are kind of weird, unusual materials, this is very beginner friendly. On the mic, very tired at this point, is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
He has fought the YouTube dragon all morning until we got some picture.
We have picture and sound.
Picture and
Amazing.
sound together.
Synchronized.
How will we ever take it?
I don't know.
So let's do the materials again.
Yep.
All right, so you see here the finished work. We're going to have picture and everything. You can see the calig and everything. I have the board that I'm doing this on. Now, this is actually kind of like a particle press paper board that has a coating and a surface pressed into it. It's prep for painting. I will sometimes call this a canvas. It's not actually. But it's perfectly fine for acrylic, and they store really well.
It's a surface.
It's a surface. And we will paint on this economical surface. Kathy.
Economical surfaces.
We have a bunch of cool wishes. Kathy is wishing for positivity for her brother and strength and healing. Kelly also, strength, healing, love, positivity for a family who's going through tremendous loss. Suzanne is having some healing and recovery wishes for her son. And he's going through some brain trauma. He's going through stroke. And if anyone is going through stroke, definitely coloring, painting, all of that stuff. It's so helpful. It's so healing. Beth, she is looking for the dream job after, like some totally sucky people let her off. And we're mad at them because they should not have done that. Anita is for healing up after an auto accident. So we're wishing her safety on the road and quick recovery. Barbara, healing wishes for her sister, who is going through some dementia. And I'll say for that, again, painting is very helpful. Kathy for her son, girlfriend, who's in the hospital. So we're wishing her amazing doctors, great nurses, lots of good medicine, and to be home and healthy soon. Robin, prayers for her sister, who is going through a tremendous, tremendous loss. And Lori, we are wishing her some help, support, and compassion because she's going through some depression. So those are our wishes. And I'm going to personally wish that the stream lasts.
I like that wish. The gnomes are so tired.
The gnomes are tired. Let's wish some love for the gnomes. Let's look at our paint supplies that we kind of have out here. So everything's in the description below and links to where you can find them. But I've got some phthalo blue, phthalo green, cad yellow, medium, cad red medium, quinacridone magenta, burnt sienna, Mars black. I've got some titanium white, and I have some zinc white. So both of these whites. And I know it seems like there's a lot of white, but there's a reason for all of that. I also have this fabulous stuff. This is interference violet. Any of the interference paints will work with this technique, and you can use any brand you want. This is one of my faves, but any. I also have my gold leaf here, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks about how this is. It's just a little paper metal. It's from the Mona Lisa company, and it doesn't tend to oxidize, and it works really well in multimedia art. I have a little cup of soapy water so that when I do anything with my paint, it survives it, and the brushes that I need to accomplish this goal. So simple materials, even though they're weird, maybe not the usual. You can often get these requested in samples, or you can often find them online, even if you don't have a good local art store. So don't feel limited. If you really, really hate gold leaf, which I do understand, I have found this, and I think this is the bomb diggity. This is Holbein's Gold Gesso. I've been testing it, and I am loving it.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have coated many surfaces with that.
I'm gonna have to buy some more, or they can send more.
It's pretty cool to work with too. It's like
I'm gonna sip some coffee because this has been a morning.
It has been.
All right, let's paint this canvas, John. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Mm.
I'm ready.
So get your big brush. In the description, I listed that you could use, any of these sizes, anything from This is a 26 short handle, and this is a 30 short handle. Anything from here to here is just fine. I'm going to put this to the side. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some phthalo turquoise. And I love making up phthalo turquoise. This is my ArtSherpa palette knife. It's why mine are red. If you watch the video on that, they're more than just red. They're more than just a pretty face, John. They're also very functional for plastic palette knife.
I, am kind of really proud of the work we did with Silver Brush to come up with these.
I really am too. But we're using them here in their most simple application, simply to mix the paint together on my palette paper.
We engineered plastic palette knives. I thought that was funny.
I do too. We've got all that on, and we're going to kind of work this color in first.
Okay.
I'm going to come over. I'm going to get my paint. I'm going to dip in the water, drag
here.
off a little of the extra. I'm going to flip my brush, dip, pull, 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 pull from the edge, and that's how I'm going to get a good load. And the first thing I'm going to do is just paint the whole canvas very loosely with this color. We can all do that, right? Just a little bit of our phthalo turquoise. And this particular phthalo turquoise is almost a teal, and how I did that is I did 2 parts green to 1 part blue instead of 1 to 1. That's how you kind of adjust that mix. If you're trying to be more aqua, more turquoise, whichever of the blue, more teal you're trying to get, it's really generally about balancing that mix of blue and green. Yeah. Notice that my brush strokes are very loose and crazy.
I noticed that this is the teal color that my cameras love so much.
It's what it is your wife loves these colors and your cameras don't. And you're going to have to make a decision someday between them and me. No, I'm not.
I'm remembering there it is. Okay.
There's always some ladies that have some crushes on John, and whenever I'm joking with John, they like to write me things. You're so into your husband. Really? Okay, thank you.
I would say extremely indulgent is what I would say my wife is. Tolerant of many crazy,
Well, you too.
So today I would like to...
There we go.
Thus we have RoboCam.
Yes, thus we have RoboCam. So I'm just getting this in. That first coat's super important.
It is? Why?
Yeah, because that's going to let me get the depth that I really want on this piece. Interference paints work better over darker colors. You don't want to incorporate them that much, working them into paint, even though they can impact their color a small amount. A lot of times you guys will be like, I want to do fairy wings. Can I use interference paint? And if the background is like a deep, dark forest and you want to use interference, it can be a very, very good effect. And I'll show you why as we're doing this. But I'm going to dry this real fast.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
John's going to tell you guys how much he just loves and adores you.
Of course.
And I'm going to make my canvas dry.
Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Did I have the music on? Oh, there it is. Oh, wrong one. Okay, that's just because you can hear it on my microphone. So we cover my... So, I will say, yes, I love you guys. I love hanging out with you guys. I would not totally fight so much to keep this show live, except that I love hanging out with you guys. And Gail, I will catch that. What is interference paint? I'll ask when we come back. Real quick, I'm just going to say, if you're drying your surface at home, make sure to use the lowest heat setting there, just so the lowest heat setting, just so that you're not damaging any of your paint. Now, Gail was asking while you were away, what exactly is interference paint?
Interference paint, it's really interesting. This is a metal particle that they chemically treat and heat, and it causes this type of, you can kind of see it in there, this color shift that happens. In gemstones, sometimes they'll treat the surface of the gemstone with like a metal coating, and it's like, they magnetize it, John? They do this thing to it that makes it all color shifting. But that's the science I got to look up. I probably should look up for this. This particular one doesn't oxidize and is stable. Someone had asked about it being stable outside, and I would say definitely call this company about that because I don't know how long it's stable outside. The light fastness on it is excellent, so probably pretty good outside. I'm going to make up some more of my phthalo turquoise, John. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a little of my brown over here. And I'm going to add some of that. And that's going to make it a deeper foresty green, too.
I'm going to give a big art hug to our community. They're so loving and understanding
Putting
of
up
us.
with us.
They're all back.
They're all back?
Of them back.
I'm surprised anybody came back because I was like, man.
I just see them. I see all their happy, smiling faces out here, and it's just like romper room. And I just want to say, hi, Joe, and hi, Mama D, and hi, Gail, and all my friends. And Donna's out there. We just see. It's just nice. All of our friends. Hi, guys.
We were having quite a good chat in the thing as we were resetting, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would like to thank Jennifer for putting it's the end of the world as we know it in my head. And then we've got a really good vote. Charmed Sisters versus the Eastwick. And then somebody mentioned Willow is the queen of all witches. So I'm like, love to hear you guys' thoughts on that.
That whole thing where she had that weird thing with magic, I thought that was like...
That wasn't Josh Whedon. He can't be held responsible for
that.
That was a writer's strike. We are not... I do never have held Josh Whedon responsible for anything that happened during the writer's strike, baby. I love you. I'm with you. Anything you release or do, I'm going to show up for. This ticket is sold.
Okay.
Fandom.
Everyone just saw our geekdom just like fall, just like standing naked there in our geekdom.
That's what we do. I'm going to stay there in my bare naked geekdom. I've got my phthalo turquoise. I've added some burnt sienna to my phthalo turquoise. I've got my cad yellow and my cad red. I'm ready to go. I'm going to get my brush wet again. I'm going to do this next first bit in with my big brush. And I'm going to come over to my zinc. Now, the zinc is not as opaque as the titanium white and allows me to make little tiny kind of adjustments. I'm going to come from the middle right, and I'm just doing these loose brush strokes. This whole painting, as you guys are watching this, is about the beauty of the brush stroke. Do you understand the beauty of the brush stroke? Yes. So as I'm going, you're going to see me using lots of curves. I'm on the toe. I'm going to come up here.
Now, when you say toe, what does that mean?
Oh, so if you watch my Technique Tuesday on Facebook, we cover a lot of stuff. We've actually done that, but there's parts of a brush: ferrule, heel, belly, toe. Okay. Toe of the brush is the edge of the bristles. Like a ballerina, it's always on point.
Luna,
now, I have these little light areas that are worked in, but I'm going to get my dark green and even a little of my zinc there, which will help lift and show it off. And you can see that green is quite rich and deep, isn't it?
It's very tealy.
Tealy, deepy, richy goody. Yes, let's use the word.
Now, Luna...
And I'm just back and forth. See how I'm back and forth? Loosely. Dancing. Big brush strokes. All loose. Back and forth.
Do you see up here on your easel in the upper left-hand corner? Luna left a little present up there, that hairband.
Yeah.
It's just blocking my little bit. Can you grab that for me? Oh, thank you. Now I can see where you're brush stroking.
We got decorating, and apparently...
did. I think that was Luna's help.
I'm going to maybe take a little of my turquoise into my teal. See, I can mix these values up a little bit as I'm going. And this is going to create that dark value and those rich textural strokes in the canvas. This is a stroke play against stroke thing. Now, since I'm doing an abstract, I'm going to flip my canvas over rather than try to adjust myself to the canvas. I'm going to adjust the canvas to me. And you can see how the layering starts to create a playful space. Whenever you're doing those soft abstracts, this is the world in which they live. That's where they come from. Where do soft abstracts come from, mommy? They come from fast brushwork. Baby, I don't know what I'm saying. All right. So we're going to keep making this darker and darker and darker. Because it has to be dark, man. Why does it have to be dark? So that the interference shows up really well. And phthalo blue and phthalo green and even burnt sienna tend to be slightly transparent colors. So the layering of this painting, besides being really fun, relaxing, and satisfying, is necessary to help the paint show through. Now I'm just grabbing this. I just want to make sure that everything is dark all the way through. So when I come to make my interference stroke, I'm really seeing it. And I'm just, maybe I'll grab a little more of my burnt. I want this to be so dark, so dark, so dark, so lovely, lovely dark, so dark, so dark, so lovely, lovely dark. Sorry, it's that kind of a day. We had too many starts, and now I've gone weird.
We've gone start crazy.
Start crazy.
Oh my gosh, that darkened up so fast.
It did, didn't it?
I'm going to see what I can... See, there's the craziness of
the loose brush strokes, though, because... So if you did this just over white and you did this, it would just feel streaky. But because you put that first layer of the aqua in, as it reveals what's underneath, it just feels like you're very arty. Arty versus streaky. The Texas edition. I'm just coming through here in the center where I know I'm going to be putting a lot of color and different stuff. And I'm rinsing out. And I'm going to put my big brush to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and give a quick dry. Hey, babe.
I am... Oh, sorry. Boonk.
I'm going to go ahead and give a quick dry again.
Sorry. Oh. What I was looking at over there is making sure that we get the color correction between all these screens, because it is so difficult on this particular teal. So, again, as you guys are here, thank you for coming and hanging out and tolerating our little technical difficulties today. It has been one of those things. I'm sure there's some other stuff that I should be going over here, but if you check in the link in the description down below, you will find a list of the materials that we have. You'll find a link to our website where you can find information about the GNOME notification system. And right now that's working in the United States. Check with us next week. We're hoping to have some international stuff working. And the reason why we put those links in the description is the numbers change from time to time. But once you're on the list, and you can opt in and out at your pleasure. But
at your pleasure.
We will migrate you from place to place when we move lists.
When we have days like today.
Yeah.
We're going to have to come up do the Instagram TV one, because I think it's hard for everyone to find those lessons. If you're on Instagram and you have the app IGTV, I have 2 awesome new lessons for you. Just waiting for you to find them. Around to that mixture. So I have some more of that as I'm working.
Oh boy.
This time it was just tinted with brown, so it's still pretty, as you can see, pretty turquoise. Now I'm going to get my scrumbly brushes. I'm going to get my number 10 Cambridge. So this has got bristles and synthetic filaments in it. You could do just an all bristle brush, though. Sometimes when they get wet, they tend to over soften, which is why I like these specifically. I'm going to dip in the water, and I'm going to come and I'm going to do one of my favorite mixes, which is my Cad Red Light and my quinacridone Magenta. I'm going to go ahead and pull some of my zinc into that so their little wonderful colorfulness shows. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to come just on the edge of my brush. This is like the corner right here. And wiggling out, I'm going to just lightly tap and dance. As you can see, a little color right here. Maybe a little bit coming back here. Look at that, just a little tap and dance. You can make a little stroke across and even pull down. And just wiggle. This is about playing with mark. Every time you do it, you can have a little more fun in a different way. I'm going to come down here and maybe add some of this again. You're just on the tip of your brush and you're playing with the marks that you can make. Maybe this time I go a little more orange, right? Look at that. That plays it crazy, doesn't it? And you're just making little spots of color that you could have here and there. There's going to be another little tap up here, John. Get a little more of my zinc. Let's come up here and be like, hey, what's going on? And I'll be like, the haps, Matt. As this works, it might blend into the green. It might pull down. And as you can see, look at this. I wiggle, come down and pull down. You're playing with your brush. That's the mindset for you. If you have trouble being serious, this is a good exercise for you to get out of that habit. Don't do it. I'm going to get a little more of my Just CAD red on here. And I'll add some of that. And as you can see in this space where you put CAD, it pops, doesn't it? Anywhere you add that pure CAD, it creates a little pop of what's going on. So over here, like dash, dash, pull. Am I serious? No, I'm not. Maybe over here we need some little bit of that. Just play. Just play. Just play. Now I can get my yellow into my brush. And I can come and say, hey, maybe some of this would have some yellow.
Now, if you don't have gold leaf, can you use gold paint when we get to that?
You can. The issue with the gold paint is that its coverage is low. So just understand that and commit to making several strokes. I'm going to just do a little bit of the yellow here, but not too much. So I have different amounts of all of this. They're kind of placed, you know, around the canvas. The reason I've placed them how I have, I'm going to put a little stroke, like a little bit right here. The reason things are placed in the way that they are, just come right here and I'm like, see, I'm just sort of dry brushing something out. You can even rinse out. I'm going to suddenly disappear off canvas.
Oh, where'd you go?
I'm back.
Oh, take it back.
I'm going to take a little of my yellow into my phthalo turquoise. And I'm going to get a little more of my zinc. You can even at this point get some titanium white into this. And the reason being is that we're going to create some little variances of color here and there, which we would want. Everything about this painting will probably come together within the stroke. And one of the things that I want to make sure that I'm doing is making sure that I'm leaving space for this. Man, I'm going to bring some of this, I'm going to take some of this brush, and I'm just going to brush it over. And maybe go that way. Yeah, we did like wiggle, wiggle, pull.
See, I have to be like almost anticipate. I have to be art
Wiggle.
Psychic.
You do. Like come down here. For these, man, you do.
I have brush ESP.
You brush ESP. So I'm just sort of loosely working this. It's so hard. You guys are going to be writing going, it's really hard to loosen up. Yeah, it can be. It can be really hard to loosen up. Can't really do it that wrong, though.
No.
Right? This is going to come together so fast. Now I'm going to darken a little of this up in the center a bit. So I'm going to take some of my black and some of my turquoise. And I'm going to make sure, and look how loose I'm going to be, that I'm scumbling here and there. Look how scumbly. Oh. I don't take out my good brush mark, but I'm just deepening some of my values.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It is very deep.
Some of this, if I was doing a painting, this might be maybe a dark value that I would have off in the distance that I'm talking about. Abstract keeps all the fundamental elements of design, but kind of releases some of the objectivity of how we see the world and speak more to how we feel about it. So if you're in a space where you're trying to work out feeling, sometimes abstract, I'm going to maybe break this up a bit, is your friend. So now we have this dark center, right? Which is so, so good. And I get to do the next part, which is so, so fun. But I have to do two things. I have to give myself a clean palette space to work from. And I have to get my brush out and I have to dry that.
Ooh.
So.
You're going to be busy. And then she goes. Off she goes. And I will go. Oh, I see. I can put music up there over the left. Oh, look at her. See? You know, give her some glitter and she kind of goes glitter crazy. I think it's like, you know, little colts playing. She gets glitter, gets in a glitter haze and just goes, you know, like catnip, only for artists. I wonder if they call it. Yeah, it's a good way of putting that. Like artist catnip glitter. All right, so I don't know what I should be telling you guys about, except that we love having you guys, and today is proof of that, and I just love my job. And if you guys are here for the first time, welcome. have a, pull up, get your art supplies. Cinnamon's gonna do some abstract stuff, and that's today. Today's a chill kind of abstract-y day.
An abstract day. So the next part of the magic is my wonderful interference violet. Now this is in the fluid acrylic lines, and what that is that's like a craft paint. I would say that's a very important factor. The paint that you're going to use for your brush stroke, like say you don't have interference violet, but you really want to do this project, and you decide to do like, a neon blue in the center, some surprising color with your brush stroke, or maybe just white, which would also look beautiful. The thing that you want to remember is that the thickness of your paint is going to affect your calligraphy, right? The way your brush stroke represents on the canvas. So make sure that you're doing something in that craft paint consistency, in like, if you think of olive oil or pancake batter, your fluid paints, your soft body paints live there. This is a number 2 bright from the Stiff White Nylon Sweet Deal packets. These are in Ross. Totally share if you find them. They're very economical. There are expensive brushes to do this with, but we're not going to use one of them. I'm going to load up my interference violet into the brush. You can see that I'm pulling it and flipping it, right? And I'm making sure I've got a nice load into it. So here we go. I'm pretty loaded. There's the toe of my brush. You can see how it's loaded. Now,
all right.
Crack your neck like you're doing the most important thing in the universe.
Oh, yeah.
Rock your shoulders
Get the
back.
paint ready.
Huck your pelvis down. But what you're going to want to do is some of the brush stroke will be lighter, some will be harder. We're going to use the natural shape of the brush to create some of the swirls and some of the things that happens. Everybody's will be different. Mine will even be a little bit different from the first one that I did, just by the very fact that every brush stroke is kind of unique, and you may be inclined to twist and twirl a different way. If you want to practice on block paper, construction paper ahead of time, you can. You ready?
Ready.
This is the whole painting right here.
Okay.
Coming off the canvas, very light pressure, very light, allowing the brush to engage and disengage. As I'm coming here, I'm going to press harder, and I'm going to swirl, swirl. I'm going to come right here. Down, back, over. And now I'm going to have to load because I'm out of ink. So I'm going to come off here like that. That's all I'm going to do. Have to be done. It just is what it is. That's what you get. You get your stroke.
You have abstracted.
That's an abstract. That's all that is. Now, hey, I can get crazy with that. We've got a pink and black and gold one coming up where I can show you how with just black paint. But it's really about just take a whole tour around for them for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, let them see where it is and isn't. And I think if I do this, you can, as it's drawing, you can see the interference.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why. Oh, there it is. That's why interference paint.
That's really, you can see that just go bing, 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 bing. Yeah.
So.
You know what?
What?
I need to make, more set fixtures so that I can rotate you.
I've got to dry this real quickly so I can put all the sizing for my leaf. Hold it on.
Okay. And I can push my magical, mood music button up. Yeah, I'm just in that kind of mode today. We're going to listen to some chill music and just sit back and watch the Sherpa paint and do some cool abstract stuff. Because this is cool. At least I think so. And at least, 300 of my closest friends think so too. So, thank you guys. You know what? I wonder if this is working. I wonder if I can surprise her. She'll be like, "Oh no, are they?" She'll see. Oh, see, she gets surprised by some bubbles, just a little bit of bubbles. She said I want to. So, yeah, it's been one of those days, guys. So thank you. We love having you guys here. And you can see Sherpa's jamming out. Her hair matches that. Is it just me, or is the glitter and her hair just like a thing? I think that's. Anyway, all right.
Honey.
I was just pontificating on how your hair matches the abstract there.
Oh yeah, it's such a good look for me.
I like
Woo!
it. I think it looks cute. You look all like aquatic in your.
No, it's very mermaid.
It's very mermaid.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody had I am personally not upset at the Ursula comparisons because she rocked. But that is just me. I'm gonna put a little bit of my sizing out. Now, here's the thing. As your interference dries, all of the white will disappear out of it. It's in a crystal medium. Very clear, it's very transparent. So that's gonna go, but the brush strokes, the interference will stay. The leafing I'm about to use, I like to usually give it a longer to dry than I'm about to do here. And I would recommend you just go ahead and let it have its full time to dry, but we're going to kind of bump it here for the purposes of the show. But here's some things you want. A cheap brush, because this is not nice to brushes. And much like Frisket and all that other stuff, it's just not a friend. It's a very similar product to Frisket, except it's permanent. Now, you don't have to have a number 8 bristle round to do this. I just have this because I have a bunch of these. This is Dawn and water. So that's what I'm going to use to sort of rinse that out. And I'm going to put in just the thinnest coat of weird loose leaves. Like this. I want it to be as thin as I can. And it's very loose, the glue, because I want some of it to stick and some don't. Now, the acrylic will hold some of your leaf on its own, right? So whatever you're doing, just, I don't know why I keep wanting to get into the paint. Make sure, I'm going to put a nice big spot here. And the leaf, just make sure it's pretty archival, but, maybe some of what you've got will hold it anyways, right? So just be prepared for that the acrylic, unless you wait 24 hours, will be somewhat itself sticky to leaf. A lot of people don't know that. When my mom and I are working real fast and we don't have time for glue and leafing, sometimes we just stick it right to the canvas. Stick it to the canvas is a thing that you could do. All right, I'm going to put a little leaf there, maybe a little leaf there. Now, everywhere this is, you're really, really going to want some leaf because I'm going to maybe move some right here. Kind of crazy. A little bit there.
No,
because it's going to be super sticky and it's going to attract all the dirt that it possibly could attract. So on top of these little micro bits that you may want here and there, you're going to want to make sure that you
real quick,
seal everything. Yeah?
Some of us were chatting and talking and maybe not paying attention enough to catch what you're dipping that in.
Oh, this is the Monolith adhesive size.
Okay, I was not paying attention and I forgot. I'm sorry.
And I'm happy to say that no rabbits were used in the making of the size.
It is.
They are. Check that.
Rabbits are pets, and occasionally.
Always pets, John. Always pets. Always.
They're always pets.
Always.
I'm a vegetarian.
That's
I'm
right.
just
John
saying,
is now a vegetarian, and rabbits are always pets. That's the rule.
I have not always
you have a dog,
been a vegetarian.
always pet. Okay, so when I'm all done, I use the soapy water, and that's going to keep my brush from getting completely and totally useless. So I could use it for my sizing again later. Sometimes it's nice to mark them for sizing if you do this a lot. I'm going to do this. It's not highly recommended, but we're making this video, so
Okay.
I don't want to be here forever, and you don't want to be here forever.
No.
You want to be here the right amount of time.
I don't know how long that is.
I don't either.
Oh, no! Okay, so I'm going to turn the music up. Not quite as much this time. So, okay. Now, what she was kind of saying is that sizing and glue used to be made from animals. So, and a lot of surfaces were. This is not uncommon. A lot of art materials came from natural sources, as did many of the things that we've used as humans throughout history. So, but as things have, technology has improved, we have other options. Like we can now use acrylic paint, like what we're doing today. So with all that comes some interesting options like iridescent paint and all that kind of cool stuff. And like she was saying, is generally make sure if you are going to be using an air mover of some kind to quickly help cure or get this to be tacky or sticky, don't use heat. That's not going to help. That's probably going to introduce shrinkage, some discoloration, other problems, especially around glues. But in your paints and things, especially in student paints, try to reduce the heat usage.
Yes. What? Or what? Oh, yes.
Just in general. We're just sort of general talking about your air movers.
Once you get this stuff out, it's a whole other thing.
Oh, man.
So I warned you this was messy, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, it can be nice, especially if you're doing high fine line detail work with leaf, to cut these. There's even a really cool adhesive strip that will hold them for you, so you can be like, and you can have a little vacuum. Seriously, get white gloves and these adhesive strips in a little vacuum and contain this mess. So if you have all those things, have fun. I'm going to pull out some of my leaf, and I am going to, both sides for me are perfect, so I don't really worry about that. And I tear it up into little bits, and I just stick it to things. I stick it to my canvas.
It's you can see how sparkly that is.
Look, there is nothing like it.
It's very sparkly.
It's so sparkly.
And you're just
I'm just
tapping
putting it
and tearing,
around everywhere. I think I put some leaf. You can fold it over. Here's the deal. I usually just like go leaf, and just deal with the wastage. Some people are very economical with their leaf, and
You are leaf generous.
I'm leaf generous. Yes, I am. I'm super leaf generous.
Cinnamon really believes that you should be returning the leaf to the wild. And
there is this trick. You can also brush this into a shoebox, which I've done before.
but
then you have little leaf bits that are just loose in the shoebox that you shake out on your next painting. That's an acceptable solution as well.
But apparently we prefer to gold leaf the floor.
Yes. Gold leaf all the things, John.
I have discovered that gold leaf sticks to
everything.
Everything.
I don't know why people even talk bad about glitter. It's like they've never leafed in their life.
No. And
what
silver
is it
leaf
super exciting? And as I do this, any place that I have little bits, right, of the glue that I put out, like you saw me do, I can just tap that into. You can see it's starting to become part of my finger if I look for a piece of
It's decorating you. It's self-decorating.
It does. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Auto decor.
So there was some there, and so I'm just making sure that wherever I think I might have had some, you can see I'm just tapping it into my canvas wherever I can get it to attach.
Now you could just gold paint if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
But look, this is really cool stuff. Like, no joke. It's pretty cool. And I will sometimes test with my finger to see where my glue is at. Where my glue at? Now. Okay. So.
And now we see.
John's going to come back with a vacuum after the show. Da-da-da! Sorry.
I'm going to get one of those new iRobot.
Another good use for a Sherpa stiff brush.
Cleaner robots.
I just press it in. I burnish it in.
Sack up all the gold leaf off.
I go like that. Right? I'm going like that, trying to get the leaf everywhere. I think it's sticking to anything.
So you're not trying to remove it. You're trying to spread it down.
I am spreading and smoothing it.
Okay.
Right? But wait. The magic
there's
part's
more.
about to come, because that's like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Besides my hands and all that's crazy. Get one of my fan brushes if you have it. If not, your stiffest brush.
Oh, you just de-leafed. Oh, there it goes.
Scrubby.
That's a really aggressive brush.
All the live long day.
And it's okay that it's just pulling pieces off.
Yeah, you want it, because I want those uneven bits, don't I? I want that feeling of it being cracked and played, and I don't want any like straight lines. I want organic edges.
That brush you're using is pretty scrubby friendly.
Yeah, it is.
Just
Unexpected use of the Sherpa
side
fan.
note.
Look at it. It's like, I'm trying to tap the fairies.
Oh wait, no.
You just keep
Man,
going.
you're so fast with that thing. I'm gonna have to back up. It's like she thinks she's a DC character over here.
I'm fine. I'm going to flip the canvas over.
I have been exposed to far too many
I think this one may have actually even come out prettier than the original one. As if that's possible. But, sometimes it is. See, I'm just going. There is a nice sealer by that company that does it. You can use any varnish, though, you want. If you matte varnish it, you're going to lose a lot of your shine, but it'll be better to photograph. No,
we are not covering paint. We're accessorizing it.
Yes. for accessorizing paint. Look, every little wind thing makes them all move. John's going to have to come over with the vacuum and really hit this.
Can you wiggle it so I can see it shimmer? Oh, yeah. That's the shimmers. I'm going to zoom in on some of this. Because you can see now, you can see the iridescent paint. See there? That's the that paint. See how the paint does it? And the gold leaf right there. You get to see all that reflectiveness. So that's really neat.
So depending on where you're at, it's barely there, and then boom.
Now, just as a note of science, humans have binocular vision. And that subtle binocular vision sets off the difference in reflections between your right and left eye, which make paintings like this look three-dimensional when you're viewing them in person.
Mm-hmm.
So while these cameras cannot do justice for what these actually produce, I highly, highly suggest that at home you try this. These products produce something that they, as much as I try, these cameras can't capture.
No, we really can't. On a big canvas, look, and here's my 2 cents. Practice this on 11x14. When you have it down, do it on a really enormous canvas and put it over your sofa, and people will think you spent 10 grand on an abstract. They will be blown away. These are wonderful gifts. They're good decor bits. This process works on many surfaces. The infinite use of this is incredible, and what I would say is it only gets better at scale.
Yep.
Right? So...
Before you leave, can you give me a little note on your signatures and abstracts?
Oh, yes. Okay. So here's the deal on an abstract. In a very non-objective abstract, right? Very non-objective. You're going to want to sign the back. Here's why. If you sign the front of the piece, you have now created a hanging issue because people will always want to hang your piece based on your signature.
Now, can you
By signing the back, you allow the viewer to make this a horizontal, you allow them to make a vertical, you allow them to decide how they're going to engage with it.
Now, can you paint over the gold leaf?
Yes.
Okay. So if you wanted to sign over gold leaf or something, you could totally do that.
Yeah. If you're like, I have to sign on the front, but that's my 2 cents on how abstract should be signed. You know, I mean, these are not hard and fast rules in art, but it is something to consider is that if you're doing non-objective abstracts and you sign them on the front, you have really controlled the hanging of that piece. Yeah. And as an abstract artist, there's a very good chance you wouldn't want to.
I got one question before we bail.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
All right. If we're doing gold leaf, we're doing all these illuminated, all these wonderful, what kind of paint did you call it?
Interference.
Interference. I want to make sure I'm using the right word.
Yeah.
So if you put interference paint or gold leaf on your surface, what can you do to seal it?
There's a spray sealer by the Mona Lisa company. You could use really a brush on varnish. You could use a spray varnish. Here's the thing. This had to be done to be photographed with a matte varnish, and you can see it really took away a lot from the painting. So my 2 cents for this particular piece is to use the highest gloss, clearest varnish that you can.
There we go. Thank you.
Not going to be easy to photograph and share on social media, but will look amazing in your home. Sometimes we have to do things the art where I'm like, I don't even like it. I wish we didn't have to do it. But because we have to get a picture of it to make a thumbnail at some point, and just being blinded by reflection doesn't really explain gold leaf. So it's a weird deal of what we have to do. But I recommend gloss varnish, spray or brush on. Remember, cat hair, no, not your friend. No dust, no stuff. Do it on a good day. Don't do it on a crazy weather day, like crazy high temperatures, low temperatures, humidity, or rain and stuff. And on your party.
You know, this is amazing. We got this to work. Take 3. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out.
Really appreciate your patience. I can't wait till we do Wander, which is coming up. You guys voted on that, which is the pink, white, and black one with a little bit of gold leaf. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And I want to see you at the easel really soon.